After the crushing defeat at Survivor Series, WCW is back on the air with Nitro. I guess we can be thankful that The Rock didn't try to pull some strings and have Nitro replaced with a replay of the Tooth Fairy. But for the men and women in the WCW locker room, there's no time to feel sorry for yourselves, as the road to STARRCADE begins tonight. It begins with our opening match. The three ladies who teamed with Captain Raquel Rodriguez in the women's War Games match representing WCW, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair will meet here in our opening match, where the winner will go on to get a shot at Raquel Rodriguez in the WCW Women's Championship at STARRCADE. Who's going to get that title shot? Is it going to be Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, or Charlotte Flair? All three of these women, former women's champions. Bianca, a former WWE Women's Champion. Charlotte, a former multiple-time WCW Women's Champion. And Rhea Ripley, also a multiple-time WCW Women's Champion. In fact, Rhea and Charlotte had a pretty good rivalry over that WCW Women's Championship roughly about a year ago. It was around STARRCADE, between STARRCADE and the Royal Rumble. Those two did battle over that championship. Now, although they were all teammates in the Women's War Games match, these four ladies, along with Raquel, not the closest of friends, not allies by any means, but they were able to put their differences aside, come together, and defeat the team from WWE to win the Women's War Games match, and did it in a very convincing fashion, as they defeated Captain Ivy Nile, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Becky Lynch. But now the time for peace is over. The time for a truce is over. Now it's time to focus on your individual goals, individual championship aspirations. And that means that target is back on Raquel Rodriguez. And again, Raquel knows this, as any of these three ladies are more than capable of walking out of STARRCADE the new WCW Women's Champion. Bianca with the most recent history with Raquel. Bianca this past year's Miss Money in the Bank. She would cash in that briefcase at SummerSlam. Her cash-in, though, was pretty unconventional. She didn't look to cash in when Raquel was coming out of a tough match or cashing in the middle of a match. She announced her cash-in the week leading into SummerSlam, which kind of takes that advantage that the Money in the Bank briefcase holder has. Although she had a great performance at SummerSlam, Raquel was successful in her defense. She remained the WCW Women's Champion. Rhea now taking Charlotte to the corner. The EST trying to get back to her feet. And Bianca coming up from behind with a suplex to Rhea Ripley. Charlotte out on that top turnbuckle. And Bianca Belair picks up the win. And she will head to STARRCADE. She will meet Raquel Rodriguez for the WCW Women's Championship. Next, we've got cruiserweight action. J.D. McDonagh. He will be in action against Dragon Lee. You know, both of these guys would love to have a great showing here tonight. Maybe that would open up a door somewhere down the line for an opportunity at the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And J.D. McDonagh, right from the start, not wasting any time. Looking for a quick submission here, but Dragon Lee able to get out. Neither of these guys have held the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Dragon Lee, former WCW television champion. He held that title for 11 months before eventually losing it last year at WrestleMania 2 against Shinsuke Nakamura. Suplex from JD. Again, JD with the camel clutch. And again, Dragon Lee able to escape. Lee lowers the knee pad. Knee to the face of J.D. McDonagh. And now dragging him away from the ropes. Smart move by Dragon Lee. Goes for the cover. And Dragon Lee is your winner. Not a bad job by J.D. McDonagh, but it is Dragon Lee who walks out with the win. Up next, we've got another match with STARRCADE implications. We've got a tag team table match between the War Raiders and AOP. Now, the WCW Tag Team Champions, the Dudleys, have set up an interesting challenge for STARRCADE. If we remember back to Fall Brawl, what brought them back was the TLC tag match between the champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the New Day. They would go on to Halloween Havoc and defeat the New Day to become the new tag team champions. For STARRCADE, they want to do the TLC tag match the way it was originally intended to be, with 3 teams. So over the next 2 weeks, we will see 4 tag team table matches between 8 tag teams here in WCW. The winners of those 4 table matches will then meet in 2 ladder matches on the final week, the go-home week heading into STARRCADE. And the winners of those 2 tag team ladder matches will go on to STARRCADE and meet the Dudleys in a 3-team TLC tag match for the WCW Tag Team titles. Ivar picking up some speed. Splash in the corner. Eric rolled back in. And now Ivar in some trouble. Eric working his way back up to his feet. Now Paul Ellering doing a great job distracting Eric. And it pays off. Occam getting the table set back up again. Now he's choking out Ivar. Ivar needing some help to try to get back to his feet. Sent flying back into the ring. Occam sending Ivar up and over the top rope. Razor suplexes Eric through the table, and the Authors of Pain moving on as they defeat the War Raiders here on Nitro. Now it's time to hear from the captain of Team WCW, the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And not that I'm surprised that we're going to hear from the champ. Cody is not somebody, even in defeat, that is going to hide or avoid responsibility in any way. And again, it was a great match. The Rock and his bloodline just a little bit better inside of War Games. They pick up the win. They get for their brand, they get for the WWE the final 4 spots in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. WWE will get to main event night 2 of WrestleMania. And then in our next draft, WWE will have the first pick, all from winning Survivor Series. Cody says that while he's disappointed in the outcome from Survivor Series, he knows he picked the right guys to be by his side. And he says that while he knows The Rock is in Hollywood and they love a good reboot and a remake, he'll be damned if we're going back to 2001. Here comes one of his teammates now, the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ says he held up his side of the bargain. He showed up and teamed with Team WCW. And now he wants to know if Cody is really a man of his word. And does he truly want to make things right? And if so, is he going to get his no disqualification match at STARRCADE for the WCW World Title? Cody says, see you at STARRCADE. Looks like we got our main event. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, no disqualification for the WCW World Title at STARRCADE.